Brandon Robinson here in the WYMT Weather Center with meteorologist Cameron Aaron. Tornado warning on the air for us here right now in parts of Claiborne County. We're going to be watching the situation very closely, and we rushed in here so quickly. Cameron, how long does that tornado warning go for?
This will go until 1:30.
1:30. Okay, so we're on both channels right now. Just after 1 o'clock here goes until 1:30. And you see, again, this is heading right for southeastern Kentucky. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. Right now, it's close to Powell Valley. It is heading toward Harrogate in the next few minutes. So if you're in those areas, we can see some pretty well-defined rotation there. And of course, we knew this was coming. We were on Facebook just a little bit off there. We were getting warnings, or we were getting alerts from the Weather Service. I'll get it out here in just a second there, and we're going to continue to track that. Right there's the area Cameron is circling it on radar that we are watching right now. So it's just north of Powell Valley, but if it keeps together, if it holds together, Middlesboro, this is going to be in your backyard. It'll cross the border here in the next few minutes. Again, this goes until 1:30 for Claiborne County down in Tennessee. It is heading for parts of Harrogate. It's heading for parts of the northern parts of
Ignore those times, Brandon. Those are not right.
What was that?
Ignore those times. I got to fix that.
Okay, so he's going to change that track there for us. He's going to get that cleared up. But right now, here, and actually watch right here. I just noticed this notch forming. Once he gets that track on there, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. But again, we are going to continue to see this move to the northeast. That is the biggest thing we're watching right now. We are basically on the air for a tornado warning in Claiborne County, Tennessee, just north of Powell Valley. And you see it could be a Middlesboro at 121 if it holds together. TJ, that's up in Bell County at 143. And then all the way over into Harlan County by 2 o'clock if this thing holds together. It is moving off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Right, Cameron?
Yep. Okay,
so it's going to be continuing to move that way as we head deeper into the daytime hours, and it's in a very favorable environment. Let's go back
New tornado warning for Bell County.
There it is. We called that one, so get in your safe spot right now. If you were in Harrogate, if you were in Middlesboro, or if you were in Pineville, get into your safe spot. How long did that tornado warning go for, Cameron?
This will last until 1:45.
1:45 for the new tornado warning over into parts of Bell County. So you see the community is going to be impacted with it. Of course, we're concerned about Claiborne County, but Middlesboro over toward Pineville, it's actually just south of Pineville, the tornado warning. But if you live anywhere along 25E, going through the tunnel there at the Cumberland Gap, again, this is going to be impacting you in the next few minutes. It's basically through Claiborne County. Right here is the cell we're watching, all right? So we're watching a little bit of a notch trying to form. Let's go a little closer on radar and get some of those communities there in Claiborne County, if we can there, Cameron, to kind of give you a heads up of who this is going to impact very shortly. So again, Manning, you're just off to the north of this along with Fork Ridge, and that right there, Cameron is circling the area where the possible tornado could be. It's not confirmed, at least on the ground.
Yeah, let's check correlation coefficient.
Yeah, check that to see.
And thankfully, we're not looking at anything.
No, it doesn't look like there's any hail or anything, or we don't see any debris balls, at least at that point. But again, that little notch is concerning right there, The next storm is going to push into basically Bell County from Claiborne County. So Harrogate, you may just miss this, but it's going to be very close. If you're on LMU's campus in Harrogate, if you're in Middlesboro, get to your safe spot right now. Of course, safe spots are basically areas.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Bell County until 1:45 p.m. At 1:09 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Knowtown or near Middlesboro, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Middlesboro around 1:15 p.m. Meldrum around 1:20 p.m. Hutch around 1:25 p.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Oaks and Balkan. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 1:45 p.m. for the following county: Bell, Kentucky.
Oh, because The tornado warning was going on. They told us that you all couldn't hear us, so that's where we stopped for just a second there. But right here, circle it once again there for Cameron. Right there is the area where we are going to be watching for the best rotation. This is going to slide northeast right into Bell County there in the next few minutes. It's going to miss Harrogate. I believe Harrogate is right about there, but you all still need to be in your tornado safe spots. Take us in just a little bit closer to let me see exactly where Harrogate is, because you're going to be coming basically right there. So I think the worst of this storm is kind of right out here. So if you're in this part of Claiborne County going into parts of Bell County, we're going to continue to watch that as we head deeper into the daytime hours. This is a very active afternoon going to be on the way for us there as we continue. But again, you see the rotation, Cameron, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's starting to tighten or get a little bit more broad.
But I say, I was looking at the past few scans, and it does seem like it's kind of weakened a little bit.
It does, doesn't it? So that's a good sign. But again, do not let your guard down yet.
Right.
Jackson transitioning this over from Morristown, and they've got that warning going for a while longer for Bell County. So again,
but the National Weather Service did just say that they're kind of having trouble looking at it because the radar is so far away.
Exactly.
So that could also play a role.
And that's a common problem we're going to have, because this area here, just like out into parts of southern Kentucky, southern Kentucky, out towards Somerset and Monticello, those areas, it's between radar sites. It's hard to get a good read on all those. So there may be a tornado. I mean, we don't know. We don't have any confirmation of that, but you need to treat it like there is, okay? Take this very seriously. Again, Middlesboro, you're under the gun at 125, so about 11 minutes left on that. If it holds together, it could get into Harlan County by just after 2 o'clock. So we really got to keep a close eye on this one. Harrogate, it looks like it's going to miss you, but I would still get the students in their safe spots on the LMU campus. If you're anywhere in Claiborne County, right here basically in this area, closing in on the Kentucky border, get to your safe spot. Downstairs if you can, in a basement if you can, under something sturdy, get out of the mobile homes, okay? Hopefully we'll have that tornado watch here soon. This is approaching Fork Ridge on the north. I'm not sure that it's kind of a sparsely populated community, so even if we zoom all the way in, I don't think we're going to be able to see a whole lot of communities. So that's a good thing. This is kind of going through some sparsely populated areas. But if you live north, basically, of Powell Valley, all the way up to Harrogate, anywhere along any of those roads, this is getting ready to cross 25E, going into Bell County. Looks like it's already doing that, actually, crossing the border into Bell County right now. So if you live close to the border there with Harrogate and Tennessee, or with Claiborne County in Tennessee, that is the direction it's moving. It's moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. So we're going to be keeping a very close track on this and seeing what's going on. Anywhere you see, again, these couplets where you can kind of see a little bit of bending, that means there's going to be strong wind. There's a little bit of rotation. I think it's transitioned over to Jackson's radar at this point. It's not as clear looking as it was earlier, but there's still right here potentially a little bit of rotation going through with that storm. So that's enough concern that the tornado warning will continue for Bell County until 1:45. We'll see if this holds together. It looks like, Cameron, and correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like it's dying out just a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The couplet is not as well defined as it was about 10 minutes ago. We had a pretty tight couplet over portions of Claiborne County, but again, that has started to kind of fizzle. But like Brandon mentioned, don't let your guard down just yet, because this tornado warning will continue for portions of Claiborne and Bell County as this moves over into southeast Kentucky from Tennessee. Again, no one should be driving right now along Highway 25 East and southern Bell County near Middlesboro, and also northern Claiborne County near Harrogate, as this storm is moving off towards the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So not too fast, but still it is moving off in that direction. So if you are in Harrogate around 125, so about 10 minutes from now, if you are in Middlesboro, the tornadic part of the storm may stay just to the south of downtown, but if you live just south of Middlesboro, be sure to head to that safe place immediately. And like Brandon mentioned, if this does hold together, it could wind up in Harlan County just after 2 o'clock.
All right, so we're keeping an eye on this for you. It's about 1:17 now. The tornado warning for Claiborne County goes until 1:30. The tornado warning for Bell County goes until 1:45. So we're going to be tracking this for you until the tornado warnings start to end. We stay on the air, wall-to-wall, full coverage once tornado warnings are issued. And the good news is
they really trimmed back that warning in Claiborne County.
Yeah,
so really,
I just noticed that when you were mentioning that, but yeah, that's been trimmed back. I don't even think Powell Valley's included that anymore.
Nope.
Nope. So there you go. So still in for actually Harrogate's not even included in the warning, but we also want you to be in your safe spot, even if you're in Harrogate. We've got Lincoln Memorial University there. It's going to cross into Bell County, so this is right there.
I would say the rotation is probably in Bell County right now.
Yeah,
southern
right there. He's
Bell
circling
County.
the rotation that's coming through it's crossing the border right now. So this is the area of greatest concern. If there is a tornado that has touched down, of course, we mentioned this earlier with that SPC outlook. These are going to be brief. They're going to be isolated. They're going to be spin-ups, so they probably won't be on the ground very long at all. But it doesn't take long to be on the ground to cause damage. So as we kind of see here, that looks like it's going to be just south of downtown, right there, Middlesboro, isn't it?
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
So there we go. So that basically, if you're stay off of 25E, if you're going through the tunnel, I mean, Harrogate not in the tornado warning directly, but again, it's going to be close. So we're going to keep an eye on that. You'll probably see some dark skies off the distance, and get into your tornado safe spot. If you're in Claiborne County, if you're in northern Claiborne County, or in Bell County, get into that safe spot right now and stay there until we give you the all clear, because this could be a very dangerous situation. We're in an area that radar coverage is not great, so we're going to continue to watch this. Morristown is the closest radar to that, and we can tell that the rotation has started to die down. So Cumberland Gap, it'll be in your neck of the woods here at 125. That is still in Claiborne County. That's right there, literally on the border. I think actually part of it's in Virginia and part of it's in Tennessee. So if you're in Cumberland Gap, get to your safe spot. You still got a few minutes. If you're in Gibson Mill, get to your safe spot. You still have a few minutes, but it gets closer to Harlan by 2 o'clock if it holds together. Even if it's not a tornado warning system, this could be a strong storm. So be ready for that as you get closer to the 2 o'clock hour there for Harlan County, and this will eventually continue to track northeast at 35 miles per hour. So it's something we're going to have to
So
continue
they
to
have
watch.
just let the warning for Claiborne County go,
Okay.
but it will continue for Bell County.
Okay, so continuing warning for Bell County. Claiborne County is out now, so you guys are in the clear in Claiborne County. If you were in Claiborne County, it's right on top of Middlesboro right now, moving fast. And it looks like it's trying to tighten back up just a little bit there, Cameron.
Yeah, just to the south of Middlesboro, just to the
right
west
there
of Highway 25.
Yeah. And this will cross 25E at some point. So if you're trying to drive on 25E from Pineville to Middlesboro, get off the road. Do not be in a vehicle when this is coming through, especially if you're in the path of this. And basically, it's going to move in this general direction. So it will miss Pineville. It'll be just south of Pineville, but Middlesboro, it's going to be close for you all. So strong winds, a big threat to right now. Damaging winds, possibility for some hail could be in there, but that rotation looks like it's trying to tighten back up just a little bit. We do not have any confirmation that there is a tornado on the ground. We do not have that. We don't see the debris. Well, what is that, Cameron?
I think that might be a little bit of clutter.
A little clutter?
Yeah, because it doesn't really match up
It
well.
doesn't match up with
Yeah.
the area that we're seeing the rotation. So again, we have no radar confirmation there's a tornado on the ground. We have no ground confirmation that there's a tornado on the ground. If you have that, get that to us as soon as possible. But right now, it looks like the heaviest rains. You're getting soaked in Middlesboro right now, I can tell you that. That will be moving up toward Colmar here in the next little bit of Bell County, and then eventually over toward TJ, which is up there still in the warning box, and then eventually over toward Cubbage as well. So if you're in any of those communities I just called out, or if you live along that line, anywhere inside this polygon, get to your safe spot right now.
I think it's interesting, Brandon, that this storm really doesn't have any lightning either. It's just a kind of a rotating shower that we're watching out for now that's just south of Middlesboro, and that again moving off towards the northeast at 35. So if you're in Cumberland Gap, you got about 5 minutes until the worst part of this storm is on top of you, and then that will continue moving off towards the northeast. And again, just after 2 o'clock, this storm will be rolling into Harlan County if it holds together. Right now, it doesn't have the best circulation as it did over portions of Claiborne County. However, these are kind of cyclic. They can kind of go down and come back up just between scans, really. So, and again, like Brandon mentioned, we're not in the best radar spot here in southeastern Kentucky. You see here kind of fizzling just a little bit, but if there is rotation in the storm, it's just south of Middlesboro, approaching Highway 25. So again, if you were on Highway 25, you do not need to be in a car. That and a mobile home is the last places you want to be in the tornado warning storm. And this will continue moving off towards the north and east into portions of Bell County.
That's right. That is 25E.
Okay.
I mean, there is a 25 that goes to a different part, but it's 25E in that area. So been down that road many times. Tornado safety, again, get into the lowest level of your homes, preferably a basement. If you don't have that, a closet, hall, bathroom away from windows, a small room away from, you put as much between you and the outside as possible. And we're just going to continue to track this. And of course, we're going to provide live coverage until this thing ends here about 1:45. If you're in a vehicle, get out, find somewhere safe to get. If you're in a mobile home, get out, find somewhere safe to get. If you don't have any of those options available, get into a ditch and anywhere lower than the basically the ground to be able to get safe as you can in this situation. Right now we have no confirmation, but again, we're just getting started. He's got a wider view out there. We've got more storms trying to fire off back off to the west there. So this is going to be a very active day in general. We've already had reports of flooding, so we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on all that. A lot of rain is already falling. So basically, this is going to ride along the Lee County border there with Virginia, but the bulk of this storm is going through Bell County right now. Middlesboro, you're almost cleared. Not quite there just yet. Stay in your safe place a little bit longer. Folks in northern Bell County, you're probably going to get into yours very soon because it's headed toward Colmar in the next little bit. It'll eventually try to get close to 119, going from basically Pineville back over toward Harlan. And then you see Cubbage here in the distance. All this is basically right in line with that storm as it moves toward Bell County. Let's see that velocity one more time, Cameron. Let's see if that rotation is tightened up any. Actually, it looks like it's more broad at this point. But again,
but reflectivity looks
reflectivity looks stout because you can see kind of these little notches. Anywhere you're seeing little notches like this. Now here's the thing. Straight line winds can cause as much damage as a tornado. We've not touched on that right now, but again, I'm sure they're seeing some pretty stout wind gusts with this storm there in the Middlesboro area and just off to the north. Anything else from the Weather Service right now?
No new updates from the National Weather Service. The last one we had was about 5 minutes ago, but they just said that they were going to continue this tornado warning until 1:45.
Okay.
They said the rotation was located over Middlesboro, and again, moving off towards the north and east. They actually brought it down to 30 miles per hour. So
it's driving a little slower now.
I'm going to reset those times then and make it a little bit slower.
Off while you do that.
And we're going to track this off towards the north and east at 30. So you see here, Middlesboro, they say it's on top of you right now. I think the worst part of the storm is just to the south of town. But still, if you're in Middlesboro, it's probably raining pretty heavily, probably some gusty winds as well. But again, if you're in Hutch, about 10 minutes from now, this storm will be on top of you, moving off towards Tuckleville at 157, South Wallens 208. And again, if this holds together, coming into Harlan around 2:18 p.m.
Now, regardless if it holds together as a tornado warm storm, it's going to pack a punch when it comes into Harlan County. So get ready for that in the next hour or so, the next 30 minutes actually for that into Harlan County. But it's the heart of Bell County now that we are concerned about. Pineville, this is south of you, the worst of this, okay? Kind of give us a broad view there. There you go. So basically, if you're on 25E between Pineville and Middlesboro, get off of it. Pull over. If you're basically right there, if you're outside of this warning box, then just pull over and wait it out, okay? You don't want to drive toward Middlesboro. He's circling the areas that we're most concerned about right there, highlighting those for us, and those are the areas all the way up to the Lee County, Virginia border. Claiborne County is where this started, but now they've been allowed to get out of this. But if you're in this area, and if it crosses into Harlan County, it'll be south of 119, but it'll be into Harlan County if it stays together by about 2 o'clock. Right now, Middlesboro, I'm almost ready to give you the all clear, but not yet. So we're going to keep a little eye on this a little bit longer. I think it's past downtown. You'll probably notice things starting to calm down there just a little bit in Middlesboro. But again, stay in your safe spot, be on guard, and it looks like the rotation is getting broader by the minute.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Cameron. I think this is coming from MRX. Let me switch over to Jackson and see if we can get a better look at it from there. And really, let's see, we'll put on velocity from Jackson.
It's still in a murky area.
Yeah, it's kind of right in between radar. I don't know if you can see that there at the bottom of your screen, but this one kind of does look a little bit better from Jackson. Yeah. So as it keeps on moving into Harlan, we could see this come into a better area where we can see it better from Jackson, so maybe we can get a little bit better look at it. But for now, it does look a little bit broad there just to the east of Middlesboro. And again, that's going to continue moving off in the general direction of Harlan County off towards the north and east at 30 miles per hour. So again, if you are in TJ around 147, South Wallens around 203, and again Harlan around 213 as this continues moving off in that general direction. Not the best radar signature, as it looked pretty good over Claiborne County, but again, we are kind of in between radars, so it's kind of hard to see what we're looking at. It looks like they just took Middlesboro out of that warning. So if you're in Middlesboro, you're all clear.
Yeah, we're giving you the all clear for Middlesboro, but if you're still in areas like Colmar, up toward TJ, going back toward the Harlan County line Cubbage, this could still be coming your way. And I agree with Cameron. I believe once we get a little closer to the radar at Jackson, we might get a better look at this. But we are still seeing, and the Weather Service is still seeing some rotation enough in this to justify keeping the tornado warning until 1:45 this afternoon for Bell County. No updates on Harlan County just yet. Also, we have been told part of this area will also has a pretty good possibility of seeing a tornado watch.
Just as you said that, they said that they're on the phone now coordinating that watch. So that watch will be coming out really soon.
So basically, the area that they kind of highlighted in the discussion It was basically right there, southeast Kentucky, maybe all the way up into, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you've seen it and I haven't, maybe as far north as Letcher County, maybe?
Looks like as far north as the Hal Rogers Parkway.
Okay.
So I would say Hal Rogers and south into portions of southwest Virginia and then our eastern Tennessee counties.
Okay, so there you go. That's where that possible tornado watch, like he said, they're on the phone with SPC right now trying to coordinate that. But right now, our main concern is for the folks in Bell County. We're tracking this, rolling through parts of Middlesboro's clear. Tornado warning was killed out for them. We're still seeing some heavy bands of rain rolling through there. Again, if you're in the Colmar area, that rotation, at least from what we can see right here, is basically right on top of you. You're probably getting strong winds. You're seeing those rotate in the atmosphere, so get to a safe spot. Your time is now, Colmar, because there is it's on top of you. Right there, he's circling exactly where that rotation is still showing up, and we're going to continue to watch that. This is moving off to the northeast at 30 miles an hour now. It's slowing down.
Watching the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms with damage.
So it's fluctuating wildly right now, 45 miles an hour. Literally had to correct me on there, Cameron. I appreciate that. But we're going to continue. Area of concern here. If you live in any of this part in Bell County here where it's not reached you yet, get into a safe spot. That is downstairs. That is in a basement if you can. Get out of mobile homes. Again, you've got some minutes left, especially if you're up toward the Harlan County border, but you need to take action now. This is a very dangerous storm, and we cannot reiterate that enough because even though there is no confirmed tornado, we have not heard of any damage reports, at least the Weather Service hasn't. If you have any damage in your area, please let our newsroom know so we can kind of get some crews deployed out there if we need to. But again, this is an area we're watching very closely. Everett's about 210, Harlan 201, Pine Mountain there at 215, old hometown of Cumberland at 228. So this is going to move towards you, whether it's a tornado warning cell or not. Harlan County and then Bell County still under the gun right now.
Yeah, and that's going to continue moving off into that general direction. I kind of want to do a reset real quick.
Okay.
So I know a lot of people are probably wondering, well, what is it doing in my spot? If we're not talking about you, if you're not in Bell County, then you are under severe limits at this time. Now, we are watching out for some flash flood warnings over portions of Logan, Mingo, and Wayne County. You see those red boxes there as we have some pretty high rainfall totals from rain this morning, and then we have those flood advisories over portions of Whitley and Knox and Clay counties and stuff like that, as those showers really did pack a punch this morning with that heavy rainfall. But again, everything is below severe limits besides this storm just to the east of Middlesboro, and that's the one that we are going to continue to track as it moves off into portions of eastern Bell County off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Here is that velocity, and again, it's broad, but it's there. It's just to the east now of Colmar and moving off towards Cubage. So if you were in any of these communities in eastern Bell County, be sure to head to that safe place immediately. That's a lowest floor of your home near the center. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You don't want to be in a mobile home, and you don't want to be in a car either. It's going to be really close to Highway 119, just to the south of Highway 119 as it pushes off towards the north and east. So if you are in any of these communities in eastern Bell County, be sure to head to that safe place immediately.
Thankfully, that's more of a sparsely populated area, but there is a lot of folks. I've driven 119 many, many times between Harlan and Pineville, and there is a lot of homes out that way. So if you live in any of the areas that we have highlighted there with that arrow, get into your safe spot. Never take any chances with a tornado warning. Now, like I tell kids when we do school visits, does that mean a tornado is always going to touch down? No, but you need to take all those precautions that you would normally take during a tornado warning anyway. So it's still showing at least some rotation. It's a little bit more broad than it was earlier. But again, this is a bad radar spot. This is not close to anything at this point. We've got Morristown to the south, Jackson to the north. So it's kind of in between radars right now. But we can tell based on, and I'll go over and point it out for a second, right here, anywhere in this area that I'm pointing at right here where that notch is, strong winds. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be strong winds at the very least. It's moving kind of to the northeast there of Colmar at 40 miles per hour. It's going to continue its trek through Bell County and Harlan County. Regardless if this is a tornado warning, when it gets to you all, this is going to storm. It's going to be a storm that packs quite a bit of a punch. So you need to be on guard and ready for anything, especially here about 2 o'clock. So again, we've got another about a little less than 15 minutes left on this tornado warning. We will track it till it's complete. But again, just want to be safe rather than sorry, and make sure that you're in your safe spot and stay there until we give you the all clear. Pineville, you're clear. Middlesboro, you're clear. But the areas right here in the polygon still have the possibility of seeing that tornado warning. I think they just cut it back a little bit more, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So basically, if you're south of the red box, you are in good shape. If you are north of the red box, you are in good shape. But they continue to trim this as that system continues to move off to the northeast at a pretty good clip there, Cameron.
Yeah, I'm watching on the radar scope, kind of behind the scenes from the Jackson radar, and you can still see some rotation there that's showing up from Jackson. But at this location, we're kind of having trouble getting Jackson to pull up here because we're so far in between radar sites in Bell County. But just behind the scenes, you can still see that rotation, especially just to the east of Bell County. And really with the latest scan, it kind of did tighten up a little bit over portions of eastern Bell County. So we're going to,
we need to watch.
Yeah.
And that's basically lining up with the velocity.
Yeah.
So anywhere in this area east of Colmar, that is your area of greatest concern right now. If you're still seeing, right there, he's circling it for me. If you're still seeing storms roll through your area there, it's a very dangerous situation. So we're monitoring this very closely. We're going to continue to monitor this all afternoon. But again, that's the area of most concern right now. This is moving fast. It's moving off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So if you live anywhere north and east of this, back toward Cubbage, you need to be in your safe spot right now because this is going to be closing in on you probably in the next few minutes. So this is the time now to get to a safe spot. Basement is best. Downstairs, put as much between you and the outside if you can. Get out of mobile homes, okay? That is a very important situation. There are a lot of state highways that probably run in that area as well. Get off of those. Get into a built structure, a home, a built home, like a brick home or a wood home. So just get away from that. We do not have any reports of any confirmed tornadoes on the ground, okay? This is a radar indicated tornado warning, so we're keeping a very close eye. If you have reports, if you have seen damage in your area, let us know. Contact our newsroom. We will try to get some confirmation, and that will help us pass those reports along to the Weather Service to determine where they send survey teams if they need to, okay? So let's go back to radar, kind of zoom back in there a little bit. And again, this is probably the first of several warnings we'll probably see today at some point, concerned about some of those storms back out there in southern Kentucky. As we mentioned earlier on Facebook, I know a lot of you weren't watching on Facebook, but we talked about how some of the cameras out into south central Kentucky were already clearing out. That is not, our sun is not our friend today, okay? This is going to help fire stuff like this. So again, we don't want to see the sunshine today if we can keep the overcast skies. Even with the overcast skies, this is an area that had been rain worked earlier today. So again, it just goes to show you it's a day that is kind of out there when it comes to severe weather, and it might not necessarily be the normal setup. But again, I can't encourage the folks in Tuggleville, that's over in Bell County, I believe, and Alva over in Bell County, and then you cross over into Harlan County. So this is going to ride along the Bell-Harlan County line. If it holds together, Harlan will be right in your neck of the woods there in the next hour or so, maybe even less than an hour. Everett's at 222, Shorttown at 225, Pine Mountain at 229, and you see all these communities kind of highlighted. That's right in the path of that. So again, it never hurts to be safe. Get in your safe spot. We will tell you if this thing goes below severe limits where the tornado warning is canceled. We do not know if they're going to extend it into Harlan County at this point. But right now, we're just kind of keeping an eye on things as they develop.
I would imagine here soon we would probably get word on if they're going to extend that into Harlan or let it go, because it is approaching the Harlan County line pretty soon. But again, just south of TJ is where we are tracking that possible tornado. And again, like Brandon mentioned, we haven't gotten any reports as of now of a confirmed tornado. But what I will say is we are starting to see a little bit more in the way of this rotational signature tightening back up. You see here where those reds kind of brightened up a little bit. That is where we are looking at that possible rotation, and that is moving right in the direction of Cubage. So if you were in that community, you need to be in your safe place immediately. And again, we're watching chat. We are waiting to see if we get a extension of this warning or if they're just going to let it go whenever it moves out of Bell County. We should be getting that here soon, Brandon.
If that keeps staying pretty tight, I would say they'll extend that into Harlan County.
Yeah,
so
I would imagine.
It's a good idea to go ahead, especially if you're along the Bell-Harlan County line, to get in your safe spot, because it's going to be a strong storm regardless, even if it's not tornado warned. And again, as we've mentioned several times, straight line winds could do just as much damage as a tornado. It doesn't always have to be a tornado. And this is an area, where tornadoes are harder to form because it's more mountainous. So it doesn't mean they can't form. It just means they're usually short-lived if they do form. So we're going to continue to watch this for a little while longer and see if we get that extension. But Harlan County neighbors, this is heading towards you in the western parts of Harlan County right now, coming out of eastern Bell County. And again, thankfully, this area, especially when it comes to cities that show up on radar, are more sparsely populated. But I know for a fact, been through there a lot of times growing up and as an adult, that along 119 there's a lot of houses. Of course, this is south of 119, more into rural Bell County, but again, you've got 221 that goes through some of those areas. You've got several other of the state roads that go through some of those areas. So just continue to be in your safe spot right now, because this is still showing some evidence of a stronger storm.
Yeah, just to the south of Highway 119, like you mentioned, this is going up in the general direction of Oaks and over towards Cubage. If you are in far eastern Bell County, south of US 119, then this is a storm that's really in your backyard right now, and that it will continue moving off towards the north and east into portions of Harlan County. This is moving off around 35 miles per hour. So again, it slowed back down as the National Weather Service has updated their warnings. So we'll put a track on this for you. And again, these are estimates. These are not to the money times here. So if you're in Harlan, it says 213, but don't take that to the bank. You could be a little bit before that, a little bit after that. But again, if you were in Harlan around 213, if you're in Alva 156, South Wallens 203, and again over towards Pine Mountain around 234 as this continues pushing off in that general direction.
Quick correction, I do believe Alva is in Harlan County. I said it was in Bell County earlier, but that is in Harlan County, and it's now, the storm is approaching the Bell County, Harlan County line. But I want to point out something to you. Even if this tornado warning does not get expanded, I expect it to get expanded. We'll see how that plays out for us. But anywhere you see these little notches, those are called inflow notches. So what you're going to be seeing with that is stout winds, okay? Even if it's not enough to keep it tornadic all the way into Harlan County, anywhere on radar, and this is for any storm, not just this one, anywhere you see those little notches, that is very strong winds.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to watch that. TJ, you're getting some heavier rain right now. That's back up closer to US 119. Advise you to be off of that road, or at least kind of being careful on the road there. It's one of the major arteries between Harlan and Pineville there, and you're probably getting some heavier rain, maybe even a little bit of hail. This storm, we've been talking about this, not very electrical, not much lightning with it at all.
I don't think there's any lightning with this storm.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's kind of, if there was a tornado, it would be rain wrapped potentially. Again, we don't have any proof of that. And if in these areas now where it's getting into some of these more rural areas, we'll need for you all to be our eyes and tell us, hey.
We just got that tornado watch.
Okay.
So let's
go ahead and pull that up. I'll step off while you do that.
Let's see if it popped up on our system just yet. Let's see. Yep, there it is. So basically along and south of US 80, Howard Rogers Parkway, that's where we're looking at that tornado watch. Let me try and.
I started to say, I don't see it yet.
Oh, that red box right there from Hazard to London to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now. Okay.
It's kind of hard to.
So basically riding right along the Highway 80 corridor south to London. So basically about the eastern third of Kentucky in this, to the south is included. And
new tornado warning for Harlan.
There it is. So we called that one. Let's go back to that one.
Go to that
on Doppler there. So Harlan County, it's now approaching you, coming right back into your backyard. New tornado warning until when?
This goes until 2:15.
2:15. So we're going to continue to track. We're going to continue to track this, and we're going to continue to watch this. So if you're in this area right here, it's approaching you. I know that you can't hear us right now probably, but if you're in this area, I'm kind of pointing it out with my hand. This is the area that it's moving. I know that that warning goes over the air, and sometimes you can't hear us, but we're going to keep trying to at least motion for you because this is a serious situation, okay?
It does go up until Harlan, so
yeah, Harlan is included in this box. So now, if you are in Harlan, get into a safe spot right now. You only have about 15, 20 minutes to go. Actually, not even that at this point, because this storm is picking up speed, it's decreasing speed. But I can tell you, if you're in western Harlan County, over toward Alva, if you're back over toward Wallens, if you're back over toward Harlan, you need to be in a safe spot. Actually, it looks like Harlan is not included in the polygon right now, the city of Harlan. But still, it's a good thing to get into your safe spot. Wallens is not included, but if you're in Yancey, if you're in Twyla, if you're in Sampson, if you're in Everett, again, some of those areas under the gun right now for this tornado warning that has now been extended, it's officially till 2:15 into Harlan County. It's coming out of Bell County. Bell County almost clear right here is what we're watching. Circle that for me there, Cameron. Okay. That is the area of concern as we continue to track this storm northeast. What's it moving at right now? Still 30?
This is going...
At least last check anyway? 30 miles per hour. So again, it is getting ready to cross the Harlan County line. Right there is the Harlan County line. So if you're in those areas, you need to be in your safe spot. You need to be in the downstairs area of your home. You need to be in a basement if at all possible. That is the #1 safest place to be. You also need to take every preparation that you can. Don't stay in mobile homes. You need to get out of those, and I know there's a lot of mobile homes in that area. Get to a built structure somewhere safe. We still do not have any confirmation that this is on the ground. Cameron's putting the track on them. Some of these storms will be in your areas at certain times here. Once he gets that labeled out, we'll call them out. So Alva, you've got minutes. Basically, 1:57 is the estimated time that'll be arriving in your area. That is in Harlan County. I thought it was in Bell County earlier. It's in Harlan County. Harlan there at, looks like about 2:14. So you've still got a few minutes to get to shelter there in Harlan. Kaywood, which is not too far from Harlan there at 2:19. And then you see 10 Spot, 2:24. Everett's at 2:28. And then Pine Mountain eventually there at 2:35. I believe that is the Leslie County side of Pine Mountain. There's the tornado watch.
That's not updated.
That's not the full watch, though.
Yeah, that's not updated just yet.
Yeah, so that we'll keep you posted on that once we get that full watch. But we showed you earlier on the polygon where the SPC has it. Basically, if you are around the Highway 80 corridor, Hal Rogers Parkway South, you're under the risk of a tornado at some point tonight. All right. So Harlan, just shy of Harlan there, not in the polygon right now. I think Wallens is out of the polygon, but if you're anywhere in this polygon, you need to get into a safe spot right now as this storm crosses from Bell County into Harlan.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Harlan County, southeastern Bell County until 2:15 p.m. At 1:40 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Cubage, or 9 miles southeast of Pineville, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Pathfork around 1:55 p.m. Cantina around 2 p.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Mary Ellis, Gray's Knob, and Harlan. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 2:15 p.m. for the following counties in Kentucky: Bell and Harlan.
Safe spot as well. And again, this does not include the city of Harlan at the moment. However, we are going to keep an eye on it just in case it gets extended further off towards the east. We will keep an eye on that. They did just cancel the warning for Bell. So if you're in Bell County, the tornado warning has been canceled, but that is because it's moving into Harlan County.
Exactly. So that tornado warning for Harlan County continues until 2:15. So we're kind of, again, in a bad spot with radar. This is why when we switch from one radar to the other, it's showing different types of velocity and different colors. But I can tell you.
Do you want to use Jackson or
try to use Jackson?
Because I think Jackson looks better.
Yeah, I think it's at least more defined there a little bit. Yeah. But basically, this is the rotation, if you want to circle it for me, Cameron, that we're focused on right now. And it's switching between radar sites. That's what we're having the trouble with right there. But that general area right there along the border is why this tornado warning was expanded into Harlan County right there. So we're continuing to watch that as we see the crossover. Now, again, no confirmed tornado. But like we've said, if you are west of Harlan, if you're in the western parts of Harlan County and you are in the path of this storm, Alva's basically right on top of you. You got just a couple minutes left to get into your safe spot there. You're probably already seeing the outlying effects of that already. South Wallens, this is coming towards you. They're at 2:01. Harlan at 2:10 potentially, taking you back over toward Pine Mountain. That is the Leslie County side of Pine Mountain. I know there's been a lot of confusion about Pine Mountain in general because that mountain range wraps around the whole part of the state. But Harlan County's, this would be the Leslie County side of Pine Mountain. So you'll know that. And, of course, on the other side, people used to get confused all the time when I'd call it the Whitesburg Mountain, which is the other section of Pine Mountain going into Letcher County. But this is the Leslie County side there at about 2:31. So, again, this storm holding together good enough for them to continue the tornado warning into Harlan County. But, again, I do believe that this stays on the same course that it is, The worst of it will stay south of US 119. It may cross US 421. Take me back out here just a minute. Over this way, just south of Harlan. If you're going back out from Harlan to Kaywood, that's an area we're really concerned about right now, all the way over into Virginia. And again, Everett's, you're in the path of this, even though you're not in the polygon right now. It's still going to be moving in that general direction by about 2:30. So again, anywhere basically right there in those areas, that's where we're concerned about. Not seeing much hail, at least at this point with this storm, not seeing any debris on radar. But as we mentioned, this is a bad spot with radar. It's in between Jackson and Morristown. But if you're anywhere south and west of Harlan, get in that safe spot right now. And I'm going to point out one more thing before I toss it back over to Cameron for a second. Anywhere along any storm that you're seeing these notches, that means it's going to be strong wind. Okay? So just be ready for that. Even if you don't have a tornado, straight line winds are a real issue with this system, so be aware of that. Cameron?
Yeah, we kind of have like a mixed bag of kind of threats today. We had those flash flood warnings earlier today. We still have a couple of those over in West Virginia. We have the threat for isolated tornadoes. We also have the threat for some hail and also some damaging straight line winds. So really, today is the day to be weather aware. Let me pull up the Storm Prediction Center's risk so we can kind of give a reset here. All of our counties are included in that slight risk, level 2 out of 5. And you can see just off to the south, that enhanced risk, that's a level 3 out of 5. So really today is the day to stay weather aware. If you're impacted by one storm, that doesn't mean anything. You could be impacted by another one down the road. So you see all these storms back off towards the west, moving into portions of Wayne County and Pulaski County. These are not severe, but we could see some storms go severe later on today. So we are going to keep an eye on that. Our one warning is for this tornado warning in Harlan County, and that is pushing off into Harlan County right now, kind of on the border of Bell and Harlan County. And we've been tracking this storm ever since it came out of Claiborne County, Tennessee. So this one has kind of held its own over portions of Bell County. The good news is we haven't had any reports of damage out of Bell County, but I do feel like if something was down and it went through Middlesboro, we would know it by now. So that's a good sign.
Yes.
We're not getting any damage reports as of right now.
Exactly. So the Weather Service felt confident enough in that rotation that you're seeing right there to expand it into Harlan County for about, 25 more minutes, basically goes until 2:15. But again, if you're anywhere in that area, and it may get expanded a little further, the polygon might, especially if this holds together as it gets closer to Harlan. But regardless, even if it's not a tornado-warned storm, and it's been a tornado-warned storm for about 3 counties now. So you're going to need to continue to take precautions, treat it like a severe thunderstorm, okay, even if it's not got a warning on it. And they do have, and might be the option they go with if it continues to kind of fizzle a little bit, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but that might be what they transition over to if it's still showing those severe characteristics by the time it gets a little closer to Harlan.
Yeah, and if you are just now joining us, this is our tornado warning polygon. This does technically not include downtown Harlan, but you are just on the edge of it. This does include the community of Alva, also over towards Yancey. Again, South Wallens, technically not included, but you are just on the edge of it as well. This is south of US 119. It does include a sliver of 421 there just to the south of Harlan. But if you are in western Harlan County, the rural part of Harlan County, be sure to go off to that safe place as soon as possible, as this is a possible tornado moving off into that direction. And again, we're not getting the best look from Morristown. Let me see if I can switch over to Jackson. And again, still not the best there, just to the west of Alva. So the rotation is not well defined. However, this is still a tornado warning, so be sure to get to your safe place. Right now, if you are in western Harlan County, south of 119, west of 421, that is where we're looking at that rotation, just near the community of Alva. So if you are in that community, you should definitely be in your safe place as soon as possible.
All right, so let's do a reset in general, because we're going to have to focus back here on Harlan and kind of give you a broader look. If we're not talking about you right now, that's a good thing, okay? So we're going to continue to track these storms. Cameron, I saw that you started to say something. Feel free to break at any time.
There's a lot of lightning with this storm.
These storms out here towards Somerset are electrical. That's definitely, you can see all the little lightning strikes there. So basically some heavy rain along US 27 south, going back into parts of Wayne County there, approaching the city of Somerset right now. And again, we're continuing to track all this out that way. Now, give us a little broader, let's take it back toward London just a little bit there. Okay. And we'll kind of look, there's some storms approaching US 421 in Jackson County, and then down toward the Jackson-Laurel County line. Not to London just yet, up toward Mount Vernon along I-75, seeing a little bit. But remember, all these are below the severe thresholds. If they go severe, we'll come back right with them and give you updates. Put up the wide view one more time just to kind of give people a full reset. Heavy rain is still falling through parts of the Big Sandy. There is a flood watch in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm sorry. And then we've got several flash flood warnings in West Virginia, flood warnings in Kentucky, and flood advisories, which means the water is running high. So we've had a lot of rain already today, and you're still seeing that heavier bands of rain. It has moved south of Hazard right now. Can't hear it on the roof as well as I could a little earlier, but we are still watching this cluster of storms back out toward Lake Cumberland that could go severe at any time, and we'll see. But the one thing we're trying to look at here is this tornado warning down to the south. But before we go back to that, let's see if that tornado watch is populated yet.
Okay, let's see.
Not yet.
Not
so
yet.
Take us back to the polygon so I can at least point out who's
Yeah.
under the tornado watch at this point. Okay, so basically the red box, these are flash flood warnings, so don't get these confused, okay? This is for southern West Virginia. The red box, so this is basically all of southwest Virginia. Follow my finger on this one. All of southwest Virginia, the southern sliver of Pike County, Floyd County, most of Knott County, all of Perry County, a little sliver of Breathitt County, a little sliver of, looks like Lee County. Over that way, it might be Owsley County. I always get those flipped. All the way back through Jackson County, all the way out through Rockcastle County, and then everything south of those counties that I have labeled off is under a tornado watch until
This is until 8 o'clock
till
tonight.
8 p.m. Okay, so again, we have the one tornado warning. Let's go back to that. Continue to track it as it gets closer to a population center there in Harlan. Of course, all of these warnings are important. We track them across the area, but this, for the most part, has been in rural areas, so we're not getting any much confirmation of tornado activity or if anything's touched down, if any wind damage has been reported, and we're bouncing back and forth here between the Morristown radar and the Jackson radar, but it looks to me, Cameron, that the rotation on this storm has started to die down a little bit.
Yeah, and we kind of seen it do the same thing over western Bell County. As it was approaching Middlesboro, it kind of lost its steam, and then it kind of got itself together again over eastern Bell County, and that's what prompted that tornado warning to be extended into Harlan County. So these systems are not the textbook supercells that's going to sustain themselves for a long time. These are those quick spin ups. So they can spin up for a scan, they can go away for the next radar scan. So they're kind of cyclic, and that's what we are watching out for just to the west of Harlan. So just because it's not looking the best right now near Alva, that does not mean it could not ramp back up over the next scan. So if you are in western Harlan County, if you are south of 119 and west of 421 near the community of Alva, this is a tornado warning. So let's put those safety tips back up there for a second. If you are in a car or a mobile home, you need to seek more substantial shelter. Those are two places that you do not want to be. You want to be in the lowest floor of your home, a basement if you have one. If you don't, you can just be on your lowest floor, and you're put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, like a closet or a hallway or a bathroom. And again, we also ask people to use helmets because that can protect you from flying debris if you are hit by a tornado. But this is what we're watching out for just to the west of Harlan, this storm here. And again, not the best signature right now, but like we mentioned, it could get its act back together as it pushes off deeper into Harlan County, Brandon.
Now, something I want to mention, and he brings up a good point with the helmets, and a lot of you may not have helmets laying around. It could be any kind of helmet. It could be a football helmet, could be a bike helmet, could be a baseball helmet, you know, anything that protects your head. Even, it doesn't even have to be a helmet, just anything, because if this doesn't work, none of this is going to work. So you've got to be very careful to protect your head and make sure everything is protected. So that is the biggest thing that we're trying to get you to do, is protect your brain, because without that, the rest of your body doesn't work. This storm has been back and forth throughout the daytime hours. We're trying to go back and forth between radars. The rotation is still a little bit broad, but as Cameron said, it may tighten up as it gets into a more favorable environment. So if you're basically Harlan down to Kaywood, get in your safe spot right now. Time is running out south of Wallens Creek between US 119 to the south and US 421 to the west. If you're in those areas, you need to be in your safe spot. And if this storm holds together, which it will probably hold together, but it may not be a tornado warning at some point. They may eventually shift it over to a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. We will. So if you're in Harlan, got a lot of friends over in Harlan County.
They have just canceled the warning for Harlan.
Okay, so the tornado warning has been canceled, but this is still a very strong storm. So leave the track up for just a second.
Okay.
We'll see it in Harlan here in just a few minutes at 2:14. It's good news about the warning getting canceled, by the way. Pine Mountain there on the Leslie County line, about 235. Darbyville over here, back closer to Everett's, that's 239, and Cumberland eventually at 254. So even though the warning has expired on this storm, we still have some others. Let's do one more reset of the radar, tell you what could potentially still be coming before we let you go back to regular programming. And we appreciate you tuning in and trusting us with this. We're going to watch these cells back out toward Lake Cumberland. Those could go severe at any time. We're also watching this to continue to be some strong storms. We've got more coming up. Some warnings down toward Knoxville, between Knoxville and Morristown, actually down that way. A severe thunderstorm warning. But we have the only active warnings we have right now in eastern Kentucky are in our area, flash flood warnings and flood warnings, and that flood warning may have actually been, no, it still goes until a little bit later on this afternoon, but there are several high water issues going on. This is just getting started, okay? We are not quite done yet. As soon as we get that tornado watch to actively update, you can tell it's went through Southwest Virginia, but the polygon is what we're focusing on, so we'll talk about that one more time. If you are in southern Pike County, south of Pikeville, if you are in parts, actually most of Knott County, all of Perry County, basically the southern tip of Breathitt County, I believe that, is that Lee or Owsley?
It's Owsley.
Okay, it's Owsley County. I said that wrong earlier. There's parts of Owsley County kind of in the middle of Jackson County, through Rockcastle County, and out through Lake Cumberland south. You are under that tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. So there's still things that could develop this afternoon. But for now, we're going to let you go back to regular programming. Stay alert, stay weather aware, get that WYMT weather app. Actually, point the right way here. Get that. It's going to be very important, and it could be vital for you later today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back if we need to.
I'm talking about.